The spirit and the culture of Babylon is upon us as a people, and it's affecting our children. It's affecting the next generation. And I'm not big in like surrendering to statistics or being an alarmist or hopeless or anything like that. And I'm full of faith for what God wants to do in this generation. But if you look at the trends of young people, they are leaving the faith. They are leaving the church. They are coming under these ideologies. And most Christian children might have God's view while they're in the house, but very often they don't have a defense or an understanding for why they believe what they believe that their parents or their pastors say. And when they grow up, I grew up in Christian school and had a wonderful education, but you watch how what happens to kids after they knew how to give the right answers and they had somewhat of an understanding, and thankfully many of them have returned after a time of straying in their life to the Lord. But we've got to figure out, how do we Babylon-proof our children? How do we Babylon-proof the next generation? I love what John Tyson talks about in his book, Creative Minority. And he says there's 3 options we have in participating in culture. One is like isolation, right? We can build bigger bubbles and bigger boundaries and hide our children away and keep them pure, innocent, and which we want them to be pure, by the way. That's not bad. We want them to have an innocence, right? Absolutely. But we can get them so removed from culture that they don't know how to navigate it or participate in it. Sometimes that comes out of fear. Sometimes that comes out of anger for the culture. Like, well, they can just all burn, and we're going to go build something else in our own little castles, our own little bunkers, and we're just going to let the world like turn on itself. Secondly, we can approach culture through syncretism. And many parents and families, sadly, have it's like, well, who cares? Like, things are different now. We've learned a lot through science. God made all the plants anyway, and there's probably good ideas in all religions, and we don't want to be too religious or too strict, because then our kids wouldn't love us anymore. And so it's like a syncretism, right? Syncing with the culture, just anything goes. We'll just try to all love each other and be nice to each other, and it doesn't really matter how people live their lives. That's one option with how we participate with culture. And thirdly, which I believe is God's way, is the way of redemptive participation. That we learn how to participate in culture. We learn, like Jesus said, be in the world but not of the world. We learn how to build friendships with people that are lost. We learn how to influence systems. We learn how to influence the people that are trapped in a Babylonian mindset with the grace and the love and the truth and the freedom that Jesus can bring with biblical values and biblical worldview.